Intermediate Algebra Section 2.5. To find an equation of a line, we need absolutely the minimum of 1 point and the slope, or 2 points. And in this particular example, we're given the fact that the line that we want the equation for is parallel to this line, but contains the following y-intercept. So from this first piece of information, we're going to determine the slope. If it's parallel, it means that it has the same slope. So our first step will be to determine the slope of this equation. To do that, we're going to transform this equation into slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form of a linear equation is y is equal to mx plus b. And as you can see, y isn't by itself. Let me write the equation here. 3x minus y is equal to 4. I'm going to subtract a 3x from each side, or by taking 3x to the other side, it changes its sign. As we can see, we end up with a negative 3x. And because we have this in mind, I'm going to put the minus 3x first and push that 4 behind it. We're almost there. Slope-intercept form has y by itself with a positive 1 coefficient. So either multiply every term by negative 1 or divide every term by negative 1. We end up with a positive y is equal to negative divided by negative is positive. Positive divided by negative is negative. So we have transformed this given equation into slope-intercept form so that we now can pull off the coefficient of the x term and determine that the slope is equal to 3. And as I previously said, the line that we're looking for, its equation, is parallel to this one, so it has to have the same slope. So we now have the slope and the y-intercept. And y-intercept is that special point that allows us to generate an equation rather quickly for a line. And here it is. We know the y-intercept. It's a negative 3. We've just found the slope. So the equation of the line that is parallel to this one and contains the point 0, negative 3 will be found by replacing m and b with the particulars that we just found. Has a slope of 3, so we will substitute 3 in place of m. And furthermore, we will substitute a negative 3 in place of b. We could write this as 3x instead of plus a negative 3, 3x minus 3. In this example, they're asking us to find the linear equation for the line that is perpendicular to this equation and contains this point. If a line is perpendicular, lines that are perpendicular meet to form right angles, and their slopes are negative reciprocals. And what that means is if you multiply a slope times the perpendicular line's slope, you end up with a negative 1. So let's first off, before we determine what the slope of the line we're looking for is, we need to know the slope of the line that we're given. This is almost in slope-intercept form. The only thing we need to do is to get y by itself, so we'll divide both sides by 2. Dividing by 2 leaves us with y is equal to 3/2 x. Comparing this to slope-intercept form of a linear equation, the slope of this equation is equal to 3/2. We want the slope that is perpendicular, and perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. So the perpendicular slope would have to be the opposite of this. Since it's positive, that's what we mean by the negative. Since this is positive, it will be negative, and then the reciprocal, which means we invert this number. So we end up with a 2/3. And just as a test, do these two slopes multiply to give us a -1? If we take the 3/2 that we were given for this line and times it by what we believe to be the opposite or negative reciprocal, does the product give us a -1? Well, positive times a negative is a negative. The 3/3 would cancel out. The 2/2 would cancel out, giving us a -1. So, from this first clue, we have the slope of the line. We're given a point. We'll call this generically x1, y1. And since we have a point and we have a slope, we will use the point slope formula. And the point slope formula is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. We replace the point and the slope to generate our equation. The y value of the given point is 4, so we'll subtract 4 from our generic y. The slope that we want is -2/3 and x minus the given x value, which is 2. And here we have the linear equation of the line that's perpendicular to this through or containing the point 2, 4.